Hi, my name's Ben Luck. I'm the pier manager for the Discovery Fishing Pier. It's a great facility if you haven't visited us. And even if you have, you'll find that you'll probably want to come back. It's a wonderful place, downtown Campbell River, enjoyed by all people, locals and tourists alike. People have come from far away to not only try fishing, but also just to walk the planks and find out what everything is about down here. In the evening, there's a tremendous amount in the summertime cruise ship watching. There's all kinds of wildlife that comes by. You never know when you'll see something. As an example, we've had a number of gray whale sightings. In fact, we had a small gray whale swim right under the pier one evening, and it's just a marvelous thing to watch. So the pier is not only for fishing, but it's also for visiting and enjoying yourself. It can be also a quiet time. There's 600 feet of plank out there, and you can always find a nice quiet spot. We offer a number of services on the facility that are available to all people. So if you just come into town and you want to try fishing perhaps, and you haven't got much time, this is the place to come perhaps. We can set up a rod rental and fishing licenses. We got it all here. You just need to come on down, and we can have you in the water within 5 minutes of stepping on board. We also have fishing classes and all sorts of fishing groups that come down and fish with us, school kids and what have you. It can be a real fishing mecca sometimes. We offer obviously full concession services. You can get one of our famous homemade waffle cones and ice cream, which most of the locals come and visit us for. We're totally wheelchair accessible, and we offer all kinds of things down here. And I'm sure we'd be able to meet your needs, whatever they may be. Traditionally, most of the style of fishing that we generally fish with is what we call a jigging or casting and retrieving style of fishing. And so we use generally anything from about a 1.5 ounce to 3 ounce lure. So we've got things like buzz bombs and other lures, but generally the Gibbs minnow is one of the one of the name brands that we use, and you can get different ones like the Bushwhacker and the Gibbs minnow and the Strike Force, and there's a whole host of things like that. But right away, just about a 2 ounce lure you want to be throwing. And you want to try, the timing is very important down here. It's okay to wander down and throw a line in anytime, but one of the things that you'll find is your most successful time to be in the water is the last 2 hours of an incoming tide. In other words, it's almost high tide, and then it turns and it starts to go out, and it's in the first 2 hours of the outgoing tide, so that the tide is receding. With that kind of tidal action, your lure starts to really get lots of fall time. A few extra seconds every pull makes a big difference. So that's the best water to be down here. And we've got lots and lots of bait under us. We got big schools of herring hanging around, and we also have some needlefish moving back and forth on the tide as well. We have all kinds of different fish that we catch off the pier. We catch salmon, obviously, the Chinook. Currently we're releasing coho salmon. At certain times of year we have pink salmon that come by, and we do quite well. And we also have the chum salmon, which we have happening as well. We have other creatures that live around and that are caught occasionally. There's rock cod, and there's some lingcod, and there's some flounder. We have an octopus down there, and he's a big guy. Every once in a while he gets caught and he comes up. And the last time he was in the net, he actually crawled out. He crawled right back into the drink. When the kids come down, they got lots of lures in the water, but boy, he's cagey. So we know he's down there because about once or twice a year he gets caught, but we never seem to get him. He just gets away all the time. So maybe this year. Here we have a mink family that lives in the rocks. We have otters and seals that come by and visit us all the time, and as I mentioned, killer whales. So you never know what you're going to find.
Here's cool because every day at lunchtime, we'll walk down to Phoenix and get our lunch. I know.
Yeah, and it's really nice because they make it a community place so that we can always come in anytime.
So good.
So that's pretty cool. And sometimes you get to see fish jump.
I know.
Hi, I'm Laverne Puglis. I work for the Wonders of the Wild. I'm in the Henderson workshop right now, but unfortunately they're not here. They're at other art shows. But I like to display their artwork and what they do and what they're all about. I'm holding a grizzly bear. This is the theme of our month. It's the grizzly bear, the bear. It was carved for an art show in Salt Spring Island by Greg Henderson. He's one of the younger carvers that have been carving with Bill, the master carver, Bill Henderson. And these are just parts of what they do when they start a mask and how they go about it. These many tools they have in this workshop. So I thought this would be a good opportunity for the Wonders of the Wild to come down and see such a display of how the carvers get together and carve. We also have a CC piece made by Junior Henderson. He's another great artist that can't be here today. They're over at Quadra Island doing an art show. And Bill is setting up for the Henderson exhibit. It's on June the 26th at the Canberra Museum. That starts at 3 o'clock. Junior Henderson has worked on this also for the art show they're doing at Salt Spring Island. And Junior's been working on it for the last 2 months trying to put it together, and it's all done almost. But I think they did a great job, and this is a great place to come. 1 to 3 on the next time we have, and have a look at the schedule for July and come on down. Have a look at all the display of their artwork and where they carve and tools they use and how long it takes to make a mask. I think they're great. This particular tool is called a kanzayu in our language. And what they do, it's like work it as an as when they're smoothing out and shaping out their mask. So a lot of the master carver Bill Henderson uses it to shape all the designing on the mask, the shapeness in the back. They kanzayu it to make it hollow through the back. When they carve, to make all the shapes of the designs, they need to use the curved one. And the straight one they need to use for the fine lines, to make the fine lines in the carving of the mouth, for example, and the nose and the eyes. The carver Bill Henderson and Junior set up all these tools where they can work with so they can carve fine artifacts with them, such as masks and totem poles, plaques, and you can see another one on the floor here they're starting on. All made of red cedar bark, yellow cedar and red. This is a rattle that they're doing. So they use a lot of the tools. There's a bigger knife, probably used for the bigger totem poles and the bigger masks so they can carve the grooves in. These are the electric tools. These are the more modern things that they use, but they use them for sharpening all their knives and tools. Use the power saws to use the big log totem poles. They use them to shape them, to get into the log. So that's used a lot. The modern things comes in real handy for the boys. Another carver is Tom Henderson. He's the one that does the paddles, actually. These are the traditional paddles that are used for canoe size, the replica. These are replicas of the big canoe size. But these are carved by Tom Henderson, one of my other brothers. And Sam Henderson makes the paddles also and carves out the canoes. This is how they shape them with the bandsaw. They put the blade on, this is where they cut them. I think it'd be a great opportunity for the artists to be recognized, to come to the Henderson workshop and work with the master carver Bill Henderson, Junior Henderson, Greg Henderson, along with the other young artists that are learning how to carve. Curtis Wilson and Andrew Puglis are the students that come down. It's a good way to look at the artwork and how hard they work at it, just to come right into their shop. And hopefully in the future they'll be building they're waiting for funding to build a whole new shed. They're going to tear this old shed down. The shed's must be about 40 years old now, the shed. But it's built by Sam Henderson and the boys when they first built it. So they want to carry on the shed, but they want to make a new one and make a shop out of it. And it'd be a lot nicer for them and bigger. More room to make totem poles. So come on down and have a look of the Wonders of the Wild project by Laverne Puglis and the Henderson Carvers. Thank you very much.
Henderson. I am the master carver of Campbell River and the son of Chief Sam Henderson. He was the main man. He was the backbone of our culture. Passed on to myself, my brothers and nephews, sisters. I have 6 brothers and 8 sisters. And we had quite a time growing up in this town. We've seen a lot of changes. And as for the exhibit here, my father, what he has left, and my mother, is I'm glad that I took up the art when I did. I think myself and my brothers would be, I'm glad we took it up. It would have been gone in this town if we didn't follow through with what my dad had to teach us. And he showed us how to make our own carving tools and so on. And this exhibit is that's happening. It's open June the 26th on a Saturday at 3 o'clock. I think it would be something for everybody to come see. Besides the exhibit, we will be barbecuing fish native style, the way my mother did every year for the Salmon Festival. So we are touching on the food part of our culture also. And to see some of my dad's creations he done out of the wood, the artwork from, some of them 70 years ago, is something to see. All his old pieces and the changes that came about as he carved, like myself. Some of the work here is it's hard to believe I carved them, and the changes, and you're always bettering yourself, you'll find. In any, well, it's like that in anything, I guess. You can only get better, and what I like is, like I said, to see all the works come out from different collectors, not only from Campbell River, but all different parts of the island and the mainland, and some of the things he specialized, like his feast dishes and things like that. A lot of miniature totem poles he made. I used to watch him as a young boy painting them. So that's how I learned, is just by sitting and watching and getting to know how to design. And I just hope a lot of people show up for the exhibit. It would be something to see, not only my dad's, but all my brother's art besides myself. I got one piece here I made when I was 7 years old for my grade 1 teacher, so I started carving very young, and got to know how to handle the tools. So if everybody could come and have a look-see and enjoy the exhibit.
Hi, I'm Barb Como of the Campbell River Shoreline Arts, which puts on the driftwood carving competition. We have 7 professional carvers and a whole bunch of amateurs who are competing for the prizes. And we'd like everybody to come and have a look. And it's a wonderful event for Campbell River. We're going to be the carving capital of British Columbia at the rate we're going.
Hi, my name is Dave. I've just entered the contest for the first time. I didn't have an idea of what I was going to do until the last day. What I'm trying to do here is carve a lifeguard chair, and I'm going to name it the Discovery Passage Lifeguard. Hopefully it'll be overlooking the water, providing I do a good job. This is my first year, like I said. I just came into it with the intentions that I'm going to have lots of fun, do the best that I can, and if it doesn't turn out exactly the way a professional would do it, then that's fine too. I'm just doing it for fun, and that's about all I have to say. You want to talk to the real professionals, Max Chakite there, he's doing a totem pole.
I started this about 3 years ago, this driftwood carving thing. I started out with the octopus. From there, it grew to what it's grown to now, competition, and amateurs get to work with the pros and get to see the different techniques and help the amateurs out. I think it's going really well. The first couple of years we had 6 carvers. Last year had 12 carvers. This year I think we're going to end up around maybe 20 to 25 carvers. So I'm very impressed with the turnout that came out today, and there'll be more showing up tomorrow. It's good to see the amateurs come out and participate.
Carvers from all around the island?
Carvers from both ends of the island and from the mainland. So they come a long ways. Some of the pros, we had one carver coming all the way from England just to come back from last year. He was introduced to this, so he wanted to come back.
Is this a 5-day competition?
5-day competition, whatever you can do in 5 days. So amazing what you can do in 5 days with a chainsaw.
Hello, my name is Cameron Kerr. I'm a wood carver and a stone carver. Myself, I'm working on large figurative sculpture. Similar to myself, I'd say. I'll probably put a bit of detail in there to, to show the inner and the outer self, right? I take the dimensions off my outer self and portray the inner self by design and shapes and forms. It's gonna be interesting how it turns out. It's gonna be a good show, a really good show.
my project because it is representing for the future generations in our country, and I am dreaming and hoping that people would wake up, and I would love to see people educating their children ever since they are knee-high and up to respect our beautiful land. I am making 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, which comes from the Word of God, Matthew 14. There is multitude of people and they are hungry, but the miracle happens, the blessing of God, and they will get just those 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread, and the whole multitude of people are getting fed. And that's what I'm hoping for the future, that our children would be nourished and would be healthy and happy.
Well, my name's Anthony Smitherman. Come out from Kent in the UK to participate in this symposium here, invited over by Max Shikite at Campbell River, and yeah, the sun's out. It's quite a wonderful day. Last year I was here, invited up by Gord Langston, who's one of the professional carvers here, and worked alongside him for a period of time, and then Max once again invited me over this year. I've been creating now professionally 11 years, but I have pieces in my studio in England that I made when I was 7 years old, so it's quite a while. I've worked with many masters, I waited 7 years for a master to arrive in my life, a man by the name of Angelo Tamburini, whose father led the anti-fascist movement against Mussolini, and Moyes is 94, and he's a gentleman who's helped me tremendously in my life working the marble. Although I do enjoy to work in clay, mainly figurative work. I've worked a lot in wood in England, huge pieces of cedar that blew down in Hurricane 1987. But primarily it is statuary marble that I enjoy to carve. And they are creating a piece here, a hand holding an erect eagle feather, which will be left here for people to enjoy. It's about me coming here when I was 19 and being introduced to the First Nations people and learning about the culture here. And the piece is really attributed to the understanding that they've given me in my life, and it's leaving a piece of sculpture here just to say thank you really to the help that they've given me. It's a tremendous effort. It's great to work alongside other creative people. Yeah, it's a fantastic effort.
you guys making?
Fort.
A fort?
That when this water comes in, will stay kind of dry.
Yep. How long you been working at it?
Not very long. No, we just started almost.
Oh yeah? You like it out here?
Uh-huh.
It's a good day, huh?
Yeah.
You go to the beach much?
Yeah. Yep, we come every day.
Every day? What do you like the best about Miracle Beach?
I don't know, we just been here a lot. Yeah.
Yeah? Just a good beach overall?
Yeah.
All
We
right.
like to go camping here.
Oh yeah, you camp here?
Yep. Yeah.
How long do you camp here for?
3 or 4 days. Yeah.
3 or 4 days. Is it a good campground?
Yeah. It's really nice.
Have you guys seen anything at the amphitheater?
No, not yet. We might tonight.
Oh, cool. What have you guys been doing today?
Swimming and we were trying to catch fish.
Did you catch any?
No.
Oh, hello there, kids. My name is Fred Nuns, and I was known as the settlers in the early Campbell River about 100 years ago. But here today, I'm at the museum, and I'm here to tell you a story. I have lots of stories to tell, and a bunch of good ones, and some of them are very funny, most of them involving my good friend. I'd like to introduce her to you. Just a second. Kate! Oh, Katie! Hello! My name's Kate. I'm Fred's horse, and I'm the star of the place. Kate, actually, I'm the star of the place. Well, maybe the kids should decide later on. What do you think, Fred? Well, what story should we tell, Katie? Oh, well, maybe about the history of Campbell River, because that way all the kids can learn about what it's like at Campbell River. Because that's kind of what a museum does, isn't it, Fred? Well, it does. It uses history to teach the kids all about Campbell River. Should we maybe go get ready for the show? Okay. Okay, we'll see you in a bit. Hi, I'm Rachel.
And I'm Elisa.
And we're the summer's puppeteers at the museum at Campbell River, running their annual Heritage Puppet Theater program. So we have shows that go all through the season, and Elisa knows the times.
They're every Tuesday and Thursday. On Tuesdays they're at 2, and on Thursdays they're at 11 and 2.
And Heritage Puppet Theater has been running for 15 years, and what we do is we use puppets as a tool to teach children about the history of their area. So we have stories that the puppets come and tell with the help of a narrator that tell all about the history of Ripple Rock. And Fred Nuns, one of our earliest settlers in Campbell River, Mr. Nuns right here, and the trips that he takes by canoe, of course, because there were no highways back then. And so we use our puppets to reach kids, not only in the museum, but out of the museum too, at certain outreach and festivals.
The plays are really interactive, so they encourage the children to talk to the puppets and think of ideas for themselves. And like, for example, the one about Fred Nuns, they have to think about how people would have traveled 100 years ago and stuff. And so they love the puppet shows, actually. They get really excited.
The puppet plays have been collecting over the past 15 years, and they're written by the puppeteers that are at the museum. So every year the puppeteers, in addition to their duties as storytellers, will write the stories too and add them to a play and build the puppets. They're also made just by the puppeteers. You can tell that Fred is actually a papier-mâché puppet.
The kids are really fun, so.
They ask the funniest questions, and they always have interesting and surprising things to add. You never get a show that's the same, and it's very rewarding too to work with children because they get to be excited and learn at the same time, as well as make puppets, so they get to color and express themselves. It's very interesting for us.
This is Ripple Rock?
This is Ripple Rock, and he's very, very heavy. We have to hold him probably up about this level in order to, and always be moving our hands. So it's essentially holding a backpack up and doing this with it. Okay. Well, you've already met Mr. Fred Nuns, our star, and his horse Kate, and Mrs. Matheson, who is also an early settler and cooked Fred Nuns a very delicious breakfast. Who do we have here?
This is Abigail. She works at Kwathiaski Cove, and she saves a fish from being canned, so she's very nice. And this is Big Mike. He's a logger from Quadra.
Here we have Jim Kesey, who bakes a very salty cake with Mr. Fred Nuns because they put in salt instead of sugar. And there's the salty cake.
Here's the salty cake.
And these are all excerpts from Fred Nuns' diary.